Hey guys, it's Deborah. I had a minute and I wanted to talk to you guys because Brother Keegan sent me this article and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So it's from the Times of Israel and it says it's about basically the government falling again. And this relates to the Shoshani prophecy, the Kaduri and Shoshani prophecy, that the government will fall or the gate will fall 3 times and that before the 4th time Messiah will come and that there'll be 2 ministers running the country, which would be named Benjamin, and that neither of them would establish their kingship, and that before the 4th time the government was established, that Messiah would come. So that's why we're watching this. Okay, so let's look at the article. It says, we were not sure if Netanyahu would honor the rotation agreement for the premiership, but now it turns out he is not even waiting until November 2021. There's November again, but wants to dismantle everything now, simply out of fear that blue and white chief Benny Gantz will replace him as prime minister. The government has until August 25th to approve a budget or it would automatically dissolve. So this is why I want to highlight August 25th, is because this is when the government would fall, And actually the prophecy talks about, and I don't have it on me right now, but it says that basically when the 2 men fail to establish their kingship, that's when I think Messiah is at the door. And then it says before the government is rebuilt a 4th time, then he will come. Something like that. I've shown it to you guys many times. I just didn't have the slide right now. But basically we're looking at August 25th because, oh my gosh, it's literally saying that it may dissolve by August 25th. That's the time he has until that they can make everything right and agree on everything. And we know November is when they're looking at having new elections. So it says Netanyahu and Gantz agreed to pass a budget through 2021 as part of the coalition deal between their parties, but the premier is now demanding a budget that only covers the rest of 2020, citing the uncertainty caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Okay, so it's about the budget. While Netanyahu has to hand over the premiership to Gantz if he calls new elections before the blue and white chief takes over as prime minister in November 2021. Oh, I never really thought about that. So Netanyahu has to hand over the premiership to Gantz if he calls new elections before he takes over in November. That just means that, that's interesting. Because I've always said I don't believe Benny Gantz will ever run. That Netanyahu will hand the keys to Messiah. So that's interesting that Netanyahu legally has to, if he tries to do this early, he has to hand it over to Benny Gantz. This is very interesting. Man, things are really heating up. Okay. Where was I? The coalition deal made an exception for a failure to pass a budget, leading to speculation the Likud leader was forcing the budget crisis now to avoid having to leave office in 15 months' time. So they think Netanyahu, I think this is like anti-Netanyahu, this article a little bit, that he's trying to force it so he doesn't have to leave office at all. Very interesting. As acrimony between the parties grew, less than 3 months after the government's formation, Army Radio on Sunday released recordings of Gantz, which it said were made over the weekend, in which the blue and white leader was heard saying Netanyahu was inflaming tensions with the intention of dividing the country. Look at those words, dividing the country. It's about dividing the country. What other country is under complete division right now? The United States. And isn't it crazy that the November elections, there's for the United States, November elections for Israel, Netanyahu gets indicted for a bunch of stuff, then Trump gets impeached. I mean, it's just these 2 men and these 2 countries are so linked. It is crazy. It's just nuts. These 2 countries are so linked. That article just said it's about Netanyahu wants to divide Israel, basically. And I had read so many times to you guys how in Daniel, I think it was 11. Was it Daniel 11? I think it was Daniel 11. It said the Antichrist will divide the land for gain, okay? Which it talks about the king of the north, but he's like, aka the Antichrist, will divide the land for gain. And this is about dividing Israel, and the United States is being divided every which way, okay? So this connection is just these two together. And then November, man, 11/11, the two elections. But will things happen earlier? I don't know. Like, that's what it's saying, that he's trying to push it earlier. But then if he pushes it earlier, if I'm understanding this right, comment down below if I'm not. But if he tries to push it earlier, then it looks like he has to give it right over to Gantz, which what? But if he waits at least the 15 months, then he can hand it over. Or if he waits till November and the elections happen naturally, organically, then it sounds like he doesn't have to. So I don't know. It's hard to say. They do a lot of like threatening things. Like I find like Netanyahu, like I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Remember, he's going to do the annexation no later than July 1st. And there's like, so you can never really tell. We're just watching. We're watching and we're waiting. So let's go on. However, Jerusalem Affairs Minister Rafi Peretz said that the slide to elections must be stopped. We must not go to the polls. The people of Israel will not forgive us. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a call. Okay, I got a call. It's without fail that I get a call during a video. Okay, let's keep going. The Haredi lawmakers said it would be complete madness to hold new elections as Israel grapples with the coronavirus pandemic and accompanying economic fallout. Like, they're like, this is crazy, everybody. It would be complete madness. We cannot go to a fourth election. But you know who says that they will, or almost, is Shoshani and Kaduri. So anyway, that's the end of that article. We're just watching. Yeah, this is crazy. They're like, Israel's like, this is complete and utter madness. We cannot go to a fourth election. But the prophecy said, when there is no government for a long time, there's two Benjamins running. This was from, I think it was, I've shown the clip, but it's from 79 or 89. It's from decades ago that he said this. And it said there would be, two Benjamins, and neither of them would establish their kingship. And the gate would fall three times, and before it is rebuilt, the fourth time Messiah will be there. Are they talking about their Messiah as in like the guy that we don't believe is the Messiah? Or are they talking about Jesus because Kaduri believed in Yeshua? I don't know. I don't believe I think because it was Shoshani and he was in the Kabbalah, he was talking about their Messiah. So the only reason I already said that I, approve of just even talking about this is because Kaduri did say Yeshua is Messiah. So, and it has come to pass, like, man, oh man, two Benjamins, no government, gate falling three times before it's the fourth. Like, we're so at the door. It's just, this is like so hard, but amazing at the same time, but like the hardest thing ever. Like, oh my gosh, it's any minute. I mean, November, is it September? And when I say it, I don't know what I'm even saying is it. Like, the rapture, the tribulation, like, I don't know what I'm saying. I just know, we don't know God's plan. Like, are they going to postpone it more? Remember, it's before the fourth gate gets rebuilt. What if they push it out? What if there's like a second wave and then they push it out? Because remember, I was talking about this whole 2021 thing, about what Lord showed me. And even the prophecy in the Psalms, the 2021, look up, your redemption draws nigh, if you've watched my old videos, my other videos, and that it says, well, I won't even get into it, but the point is, people who've watched it know what I mean. Like, what if it gets dragged out and then it ends up being like later than November, and because of pandemic, and then everything just gets put on hold? All I know is before they can make the government the fourth time, or resolve this issue, then it's all going to be over. So, I mean, I'm not going on that, but I'm also going on just that prophecy. I'm going on a million prophecies. There's the Malachi prophecies. There's the big one is the fig tree prophecy, the generation, 70, 80 years if by strength. So it all lines up. It all lines up all together. That's the thing. I don't just have my eggs in one basket. Anyway, thanks again to Brother Keegan for sharing that with me. And we keep watching like good little sheep. That's what we do. We keep watching because we were told to. So I hope that encouraged you and blessed you and keeps you watching Israel and the whole world. And mainly looking up for Jesus. So yeah, that's it. I guess I will talk to you again soon. And yeah, until next time, God bless and shalom.